Fishing companies have released some wild lures over the years. Some were game changers and some were complete disasters. Today, I'm testing out a handful of lures that the fishing world called failures to see if they are actually as bad as people say or if they can actually catch fish. Let's go ahead and meet the lure hall of shame for today. The helicopter lure claims to spin like a helicopter blade, but will fish actually attack this thing or will they run for their lives? The Banjo minnow claims to be the most lifelike lure ever created, but does it actually swim like a real fish? The little huey, a bait so customizable you can do it on the water and without retying. Mighty Bite, a lure that claims to have the first 5 cents lure system and allows you to customize your bait for any condition. Strike Jacket, that allows you to make your lure into Frankenstein's monster, but is it actually gonna work? The Flying Lure claims to fly away from you as you fish it, but is it just gonna crash and burn? Looking at all these lures, it makes me feel like I took my mom's credit card and bought everything on the as seen on TV commercials. But don't let it fool you guys, this stuff was very expensive. I spent around $140 on it all. So hopefully one of them catches us a fish and they aren't all considered failures. So first up, we have the helicopter lure. This is a very interesting looking bait. It was designed by Roland Martin, who is a legend, but I have heard mixed reviews about this thing. I think it's gonna be one of those baits where something is not gonna work right on it and it's just not gonna be consistent. But let's crack it open and let's find out. So it says that this is the first lure ever to combine movement, color, sound, and scent all in one weedless plastic worm. I'm not gonna lie, this thing does not look like a plastic worm. It actually looks like, well, I'm actually not gonna say what it looks like. But hey, let's crack it open. Let's see what we're working with here. So here we have it, the helicopter lure, which is considered a failed product, but let's see if it actually can work. Well, it's not great. It's not bad. I mean, it's actually really inconsistent, but if it could just stay up top and spin for a little bit, that's all we really need. Definitely a unique lure though. Let's see if there's any fish up shallow today. I mean, it actually swims, look at that. That actually doesn't look horrible. Got a nice little helicopter blade look to it. Oh! We got bit. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. How did he not get it? This is such an odd shaped lure. I feel like he'd be able to snag that. Oh, we're on. We're hooked up. Oh, he came off. No. No, that was 2. Oh. Come on, man. Like I said about the topwater baits, if they can just put off that motion and stay on top of the water, a fish is gonna eat them. I don't really like the curve on this hook, but I guess it will do. It's a tough plastic, you know? They're gonna have to really take a bite out of it. Oh, we're on. Nope, he came off. Gosh, the hookup ratio is not too hot. 0 for 3. He's moving towards it. He's coming. He's after it. Eat it. He's behind it. Oh, he just picked it up. There we go. We're hooked up. That's a good fish. It wasn't a topwater eat, but hey, we'll take it. He was just cruising the shallows. Got him on the twitch. That was crazy. That was so sick. Oh my God, that was so sick. That was crazy. Get up here. Oh my God. Well, I saw him start chasing after it and I paused it. He came over, I twitched it. He sucked it in, I set the hook. Well, not a bad fish on the helicopter lure. Wow, this fish was up shallow. I saw him, it's early morning. He was just kind of cruising the shallows and I tossed it up there. He started following it, didn't really commit on it. And then, you know, he got right up on it. I stopped it, twitched it one good time. He got closer, twitched it another time. He sucked it in, I set the hook, and boom, we have ourselves our first fish of the day. He actually did not look this big up there swimming, but solid fish to start the day off. Beautiful fish. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Look at him, he's so chill. See ya. That was so cool, but now it's time to rate this thing. I feel like I should give a rating for every product. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10. I think the idea is there. I think that it could have been executed better. Like, obviously it works. It does what it's supposed to. It catches fish. But there is some things that just aren't great about it. Like, it's very inconsistent. The hookup ratio is not great because the hook is just doing this. So there's a few things that you can modify, and I feel like this would be a pretty cool lure. But 5 out of 10, not bad. It is a top water bait, which I love, so it pains me to give it a 5, but we missed so many fish, and it was so hard to get it to work. You had to be very precise. And honestly, I think if it would have come like pre-rigged and ready to go, like by a professional, it probably would have worked extremely well. But hey, nice start of the day. We got ourselves a pretty decent fish. So now we have the Banjo minnow, which claims to be the most lifelike lure ever created, that's a big claim. It even says that it makes fish bite even when they're not hungry. That's also a big claim. But as you guys can tell, we have some minnows back here. This is a 110 piece set, which I feel like is a lot. You know, 110 pieces to keep up with when you're out on the water is crazy. But let's crack this thing open and see what's inside. I'm kind of liking this minnow right here. He's kind of cool, and so is this one. These two are cool. This one apparently glows in the dark. Pretty cool. That one's super tiny, but let's see what we got in here. Let's see, what is the best way to open this without injuring myself? Okay, let's cut out this white one, because that's what I'm going to use. Golly, this is some very strong packaging. Well, there's our minnow. It's like a plastic bag. Oh my god, what the heck is going on here? Okay, so one way they were advertising this thing to be rigged up is there's like a little nose hook right here, and you actually push the hook through like that, and then you tie it up, which is, oh, it just fell off. Oh, it literally just broke. Not a hot start for the Banjo minnow. I can't even fit it through. Okay, I'm gonna have to get a smaller hook, I think. This is a little too complicated for my liking. It's very hard to see, but there's this little red piece that looks like what you would tie it up to, but you actually push the hook through it, and it's just so small that none of the hooks go in there. So I guess we're just gonna kind of wacky rig this thing. They say to push it through like that and twitch it. This is not giving me high hopes at the moment. The hook is not even closed. Am I crazy right now? Dude, what is happening? I feel like my knot is gonna slide out of that. This is something for sure. The only way I'm gonna get bit is by getting it in a fish's face. Like, they're not gonna come hunt this thing down, that's for sure. The only thing I can think about while throwing this lure is how much I can't wait to throw the next one. The bad thing is, I think this was the most expensive lure out of all of them. And I can't even get a hook to go through it to rig it up. Oh, it just fell off. Oh my god. You know, usually I'm not one to give up real easy, and I will try and catch a fish on everything, but I think that this one is so bad that I don't even think I can do that. I mean, we're talking the hook is not even closed, so it just fell off of my line, and you can't even rig it the way that it tells you to, because it physically can't do it without breaking it. Now, granted, if you were to throw this thing on like a good hook, or figured out how to do whatever it's telling you to do, it may swim good because it has a nice, you know, little swimmer. I mean, this thing's got good tail action, good head action. I mean, it's gotta move somehow. But the way that they're telling me to rig this thing does not work. So this one gets a 0 out of 10. Well, that was a waste of money. On to the next. Now, this one I'm actually excited for. The little Huey. It is a crankbait that you can actually change the color of it, which is super cool idea. So it says that it swims like an injured minnow. You can change colors, add scent, easy change, state-of-the-art design, unique swimming action, drives fish crazy. Let's see if that's the case. It says that there is 5 lures into one. Well, I can go ahead and tell you that hook right there is not great placement. What kind of hooks are these, dude? What the? How old is this lure? What kind of contraption do I have in my hands right now? But this thing looks straight out of a Lego set. What is going on here? I guess we'll go with this gold color. And it looks like what you do is lift this up and you can change it out. I mean, that is kind of like a cool idea, but I don't even know. I'm always one to like, don't knock it before you try it, but I've used so many lures by now that I just can look at stuff and be like, that's a bad idea, that's a bad idea. And this one screams great idea, but also screams horrible idea. Like, I feel like I just went to Lego World and built my own Lego. I'm actually scared of this lure. I don't know how this thing's gonna swim, but Looking at it, it looks like it's about to dive like 50 feet, and it just does not look very good. I mean, I'm not gonna knock anything until I try it. I'm gonna give everything a fair chance, besides the Banjo minnow, because it literally fell off my knot. Oh my God, it's so ugly. Oh, it doesn't even, it's not even a crankbait. Oh my God, it sinks. Oh, what am I looking at? I mean, just looking at this lure, it kind of looks like a disaster. It actually walks better than it swims, which is saying a lot about a crankbait. But I think I'm just gonna sit here and twitch it like a jerkbait and hope that that gets me a bite, because it does not swim like a crankbait. It actually likes to swim in circles, it looks like. So I definitely had high expectations for a lot of these baits, and I was like, they can't be that bad. I think I'm going to regret saying that. I think that a bunch of these are going to be pretty bad. I feel bad for the people who bought it, including me. I spent $150, $140 on all this stuff, and I've only caught one fish on one lure out of 3. The fact that they said that this thing swims like an injured bait fish is honestly an insult to injured bait fish. There might have just been a fish on. I'm telling you, they're not following it because they want to eat it. They're following it because they're making fun of it. They're like, what is this monstrosity that is being thrown at me right now? You know, I wanted to give it a fair chance, and I don't think I can do it anymore. This thing is, ugh, I don't even know where to start. I like the idea, I really do, but execution is just awful. Well, our color changing crankbait was just terrible. Next up, we have Mighty Bite. Now this one actually, looking at it, it definitely has a strange look. Half my swim bait is missing, but it does have a hook in it, and it does look like it is going to swim. So I'm actually I have high hopes for this one. I actually think this one is going to work, and we're going to catch a fish. See, this is just like the crazy thing to me. Look at all the stuff that goes on in this lure. You got swimming fins, wounded ribs, realistic eyes, fin locking pins, scent stick chamber, treble hook chamber, rattle chamber, holographic effect, vibrating swimming tail action, blood red bite mark, flexible moving top fins, and 3X strong hooks. What is going on with this lure? That just sounds like an overkill. Give me a paddle tail and a hook, and I think we're gonna be just as successful, but hey, we'll crack it open and see. Oh, you actually do get all that stuff inside, so we might as well load this thing down. I feel like this is probably the best size. Again, a very tough package to open. This one definitely looks like it would be the best option for today. I don't want to go too big, but that's a paddle tail. Oh, it actually does kind of have the chambers and stuff. Gosh, dude, why do they make this stuff so hard to get into? Nobody is going to steal this, I can promise you. Okay, so we have some rattles. So the rattle chamber is on the back of this thing. So let's just kind of push it in there. Oh, it actually kind of stayed. Mighty Bite instructions. Honestly, I think if your lure comes with instructions, it's just too complicated. Like, what happened to just tying stuff up and fishing with it, you know? Okay, so these are the scent sticks. That's actually kind of cool. It's just, there's so much unnecessary stuff in these packages. Like, what happened to just pulling a lure out of the box and fishing with it? Like, I don't think these companies thought it out. Like, when I'm out here on the water, I don't want to have to, like, do 15 things to my bait. Like, I just want to pull it out and fish with it, you know? Okay, the scent stick goes in the front. I mean, it is kind of cool how you can slide that stuff in there, but is it really necessary? Probably not. This thing definitely looks like it has the most potential. I mean, how do you mess up a swim bait? It's kind of hard, but, you know, hopefully it swims in a straight line. That's all I can say. Got to be better than the last stuff, though. Those were just horrible. I will say the Mighty Bite actually looks pretty decent. Like, it actually has a good swimming action. It's not a bad looking bait. It looks like a little shad. And I do like the fact that you can kind of customize this thing. And I think the best thing about it is it's very easy to. Like, it tells you exactly where to put the stuff. Unlike the freaking Banjo minnow where it would tell you to do something and it would break. This is put together pretty decent. So just by making a few casts with our Mighty Bite, I can say that this is probably the best one I've thrown. It's very consistent. It looks like a nice little paddle tail, and you know, it's hooked up and ready to go out of the package. Now, if you wanted to make modifications, you can. Although I think it's a little bit of an overkill. It actually looks pretty good. I mean, especially for being a failed lure, I would say it's pretty solid. So hopefully it's going to catch us a fish here. Oh, I watched that one hit it. We're hooked up. That was crazy. He smacked it. Mighty Bite, baby. Mighty Bite. Okay, I see you. I see you, Mighty Bite. That actually was not bad. Get up here. Look at that. We got one on the Mighty Bite. Got him good, too. I was a little worried about the hooks, but it seemed to handle it just fine. Beautiful fish. Thank you, buddy. That was so cool. See ya. Well, the Mighty Bite actually was pretty solid. I mean, I was a little worried about that hook, but the hook seemed to have that fish pinned pretty good. And it has a nice, solid swimming action. So I'm going to give Mighty Bite a good rating. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think that this is pretty solid. I mean, it catches fish, obviously. And it comes pre-rigged. And you also have some that aren't, so you could do whatever you wanted. Because like I said, there's so many different ways you could rig this. There is literally... See how many pieces are inside of this? There's so many pieces, like 100 something. Yeah, over 100 pieces. Like, you could do anything to this swim bait, and you know, you have them in different sizes, and they actually swim really good. So I'm pretty impressed with this one. It definitely makes up for the last two, but now it's time for one that I'm actually scared of. Strike Jacket. This is something else. I was actually looking at this and I was like, you know, some crankbait, some soft plastics. No, that's not what this is. You are actually supposed to put these little green things on your crankbait. What does that even mean? How I don't even know how to. What does that even mean? Why would you need to do that? Why would you need a jacket on your crankbait? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I'm gonna try it and we'll see what happens. And one thing that really frustrates me is there is no hooks on this crankbait, so I'm gonna have to put them on myself. So it's not gonna be fun. Let's pick a crank. Oh, everything's falling out. Oh gosh. Let's rock with the little fire tiger color. So it looks like you literally put this piece of plastic on your crankbait, and it is not wanting to go on. I mean, why would you put something over a crankbait? I don't understand what's the point of this. But, you know, I might as well give it a shot. I am truthfully confused by this, and I feel like I have the urge to wash my hands. My fingers are so sticky from this little jacket thing. I don't see any benefit of having a jacket on your crankbait. Like, why not just throw this thing regular or make a soft plastic? Like, you can't have both. Pick one. Well, this lure is interesting. I don't know why you would need a jacket on a crankbait. And this is definitely probably one of the most unnecessary and longest lures it has taken me to rig up. Like, I don't get this. But it does add this cool little tail. Truthfully, I don't think it's going to do much. I think the crankbait action is what draws in the bites. But hey, we're going to throw it around and we're going to see. Strike Jacket. I'm going to need a straight jacket after fishing with all these lures because I think I'm losing my mind. See, the action on this thing doesn't look horrible. I just don't understand what the thought process of this bait was. Like, what are we attempting to make here? Oh, there's one. We're hooked up. We're hooked up on the straight jacket. Come here, buddy. Come here. Well, we got one. Well, the old straight jacket got the job done. This truthfully is just very unnecessary. I feel like the tail is cool, but if you were to put that second treble hook on the back, it would basically make it useless. But hey, it's a fish. Thanks, bud. Well, I wouldn't say it was horrible. I feel like this is decent. I just think that it's very unnecessary. But I mean, I guess if you were trying to do something different, it is different. I just think that it's very useless. So now we are brought to our last lure, the flying lure. Now, if I would have known that this was going to be this small, I wouldn't have bought it. I actually thought I was getting the bigger version. This thing is extremely small. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to cast it. And this is just, this color is kind of ugly too, so I don't really know what I am expecting from this, but it tells you how to rig it on the back. This looks like something I would never actually use. Like, you're telling me out of every lure in existence, this is what we're coming up with? I guess you could say that it flies away from you, but like, doesn't every lure? Like, I just don't think that's like a special thing. Let's see, can I even cast it? Okay, I can actually get a decent little cast with it. I just think every lure flies away from you. Like, it's called sinking, you know? I don't understand. I feel like everything is like marketed to sound really cool, and then you fish it and you're like, that's horrible. And I feel like that's exactly what all this stuff has been. I think I'm gonna have to actually like redo my ranking system too, because I feel like I had high hopes going into everything, and I gave like the helicopter lure like a 5. That thing deserved like a 10 compared to everything else. This stuff is horrible. I mean, I feel like this one would be better if it was bigger. Yeah, I think if you had a bigger version of this, it would probably be more fun. This tiny one is horrible. It's hard to cast. It doesn't really do much because it's so small. The bigger one would probably be pretty cool. That's what I thought I ordered, actually. I have one. Oh my God, I can't hook one, dude. Oh, there's one. Did he just eat it? He did just eat it. He's got it. There we go. Got him. Gave him time. There we go. On the flying lure, the only thing it can do is fly out of a fish's mouth. You gotta be kidding me, man. That's like the 6th fish I've missed. Probably more. Oh, I just got thumped. I got one. Again, the flying lure flying out of a fish's mouth. He got it. He got... This is insane, dude, actually. Oh, one's on it. He got it good. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Oh, one's got it. One's got it. That lure has flown at me at least 10 times now. There's one. We're hooked up. We're hooked up. Stay on. Stay on. How did I know that was about to happen? How did I know? Well, I think I have had just about enough of all this stuff as I can take. This is just ridiculous. Well, I don't know if that went better or worse than I expected. I actually had high hopes, and I felt let down, disappointed, ripped off, scammed. I just cannot believe that some of these lures were actually on the market. I mean, they were horrible. Looking at them on the surface, not too bad. Marketing, pretty cool, nice packaging. You throw the bait out there and it's terrible. So I think if I had to rate them, we're taking the helicopter lure at 1. We're gonna take the Mighty Bite at 2. And then I think the list just ends there because everything else was not good. Would I throw them again? Absolutely not. They were horrible. I'm definitely saying that they are failed lures, besides maybe 1 or 2 of them. But it was just a long, hot day. Nice spring day for fishing, but I just could not catch a lot of fish because the lures were not allowing me to. I mean, it was actually really, really tough. But helicopter lure was decent. I would probably throw that again. Everything else, I think, is just straight out the window. Gimmick, don't buy, stay away from. And definitely don't spend $140 on this stuff like I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and a comment. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.